Imagine walking through the forests of West Africa in the 15th century. You expect a village. Instead, you see a massive city, wide roads, busy markets, royal courtyards, skilled craftsmen, and walls stretching across the landscape. This was Benin City, the heart of the powerful Kingdom of Benin, in what is now southern Nigeria. For centuries, the kingdom was ruled by a sacred monarch known as the Oba, and this was no small kingdom. Benin controlled territory, trade, agriculture, and powerful military forces. Its capital was the center of everything. But the most surprising part, the city was carefully organized. Its streets connected neighborhoods, markets, and royal compounds. Huge earthworks and defensive walls surrounded the city and its territories. And at the center stood the enormous royal palace. To visitors arriving from Europe, this was not the image they expected from West Africa. It was something far more complex and much more powerful. The Kingdom of Benin had been developing for centuries. Its history stretches back long before Europeans arrived on its shores. The kingdom grew stronger under successive Obas. But one period changed everything. The reign of Oba Ewar the Great in the 15th century. Under Ewar, Benin expanded its influence. The capital grew, trade increased, and the royal court became even more powerful. Benin's location helped enormously. It was connected to trade routes reaching toward the coast and inland regions. Palm products, ivory, pepper, textiles, and eventually large quantities of other valuable goods moved through its markets. But Benin's greatest treasure wasn't simply what it traded. It was what its craftsmen could create. Inside royal workshops, artists worked with bronze, brass, ivory, and other materials. They produced masks, plaques, royal sculptures, ceremonial objects, and portraits of kings and important figures. These weren't random decorations. They recorded history, they showed power, they preserved memory, and they told stories about the royal court. But then, Europe arrived, and everything changed. By the late 15th century, Portuguese sailors had reached the West African coast. They encountered the Kingdom of Benin, and diplomatic and commercial relationships developed. European visitors described a powerful African state with an organized court and substantial wealth. But the real surprise was Benin City itself. Imagine entering the capital, long roads disappearing into the distance, thousands of people moving through the city, markets filled with goods, guards protecting the royal compound, and enormous earthworks surrounding parts of the kingdom. The city was not simply a collection of houses. It was an organized political center, a capital built around the authority of the Oba. And inside the palace were objects unlike anything many European visitors expected to encounter in the region. The famous Benin bronze plaques were especially remarkable. They showed warriors, kings, court officials, foreign visitors, ceremonies, and battles. The artists captured clothing, weapons, hairstyles, and symbols of status with extraordinary precision. These artworks became a visual record of Benin's history, and centuries later, they would become famous around the world. But there was a darker chapter coming. By the 19th century, European powers were becoming increasingly aggressive across Africa. Britain wanted greater influence over trade and territory in the region. Benin, however, remained independent. The Oba still controlled his kingdom, and that created tension. In 1897, a British expedition entered Benin territory. The mission quickly turned into a disaster. Benin forces attacked the expedition. British officials responded with a much larger military force. This time, they came prepared with modern weapons, thousands of troops and auxiliaries, and a clear objective. Benin City was invaded. The British forces eventually captured the capital. The royal palace was looted, and much of the city was burned. Thousands of objects were taken: bronze plaques, ivory carvings, royal sculptures, ceremonial objects, treasures accumulated over generations. Many were eventually sold or distributed to museums and private collections around the world. The Oba was exiled, and the independent Kingdom of Benin was effectively brought under British control. The city that had once stunned European visitors had been conquered, but its story wasn't finished. Today, the Benin bronzes are among the most famous African artworks in the world. They can be found in museums and collections across several continents. But behind every plaque, there is a story. Behind every royal figure, there is a kingdom. And behind every bronze, there are generations of African artists whose names were often forgotten. The Kingdom of Benin